Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So if you remember recap from last week, we set up an API, the basics that we have here that we're using. So this week we are going to a couple of different videos that we set up this week. But the first one is we're going to show you how to get started with a full structure, show you some other tools that you need to download and so forth to get started. So first and foremost, let's create a new window. I'm going to delete that window. Alrighty, and we're going to do that. We're going to create a folder. I think that was under my test folder. Under that. And we had API, so I'm just going to call it API stage. We'll call it dev. We'll just call it API dev. Boom. Alright, so we're going to click open. Create a new folder. It's fine. Boom. Boom. One of the other things is when you're creating this folder, make sure you have it set up and linked to Git as well. So that will be important. I'm not going to show you how to do that because we've already gone through that aspect. So make sure that you have this synced up with GitHub. So going out to GitHub, create a repository, sync the two up. That will be necessary in order to do this assignment or really getting in control of things here. That's going to be very important for you guys to do. Okay. So anyways, first and foremost, we're going to start off with downloading some stuff that we need. So let's go over to terminal. Let's clear our screen. We'll start off with the basics. INI. Yes. You know what? Screw it. Let's go ahead and set up a GitHub account. I like to do things the right way. There we go. Let's create a new repo for me. This will be called my APIs. We'll make it private. We'll make it public. I don't care. And add README file. That is fine. Perfect. Let's see if I can clone it, copy it. We have nothing in here yet, so let's build this first. Well, let's do that. We could connect it first. So let's do git clone. All right. Perfect. So now we might have that linked. My APIs. So let's go into my APIs. There we go. We had that README file that's out there right now, so that's good. So we can actually there we go. We can actually click on it and just make sure it works. Actually, we'll change this to APIs. My API for advanced programming. Start date September 25th, 2023. Author. All right. So I'm going to save that out. I am going to do a git status. We're going to do a git add. Do another git status, make sure it's green. Perfect. And we're going to do a git commit. Modified the README file. I guess it's good to get used to doing this. And then we'll do git push origin. All right, so now if we come out to here, refresh, and boom, it's updated. All right, not how exactly we want it to look, but it's fine for now. All right, so let's clear our screen. We have a working environment. This is awesome, very awesome. All right, so now we'll go over here and do what we need to do. We'll do our initialization. Yes. Perfect. I think I need some music here as well, guys. Just something a little bit light. Nothing real heavy. I gotta hook up my Spotify account because, well, I just have to. Let's see here. We don't want to listen to podcasts. All right, so let's sync that up. It's not what we want. I mean, it's what we want, but it's not what we want. So, what? That'll mess me up.
Now connected to Landshark phone.
You know what? I disconnected it because I think that messes me up by recording this video. 1 second. Alright, so we gotta go, but I don't know, it's kind of messing things up here. Because I have it synced to my whole setup here, so hopefully I'm still recording. It says I am, but alright. So the next thing I'm going to do is we have our initialization, so we're going to do npm install, and then I have police sirens behind me, and do save. Alright, then we want to do install gnomon, and we want to install, there's something else we want to install, I'm trying to remember what it is. What is it? PG, I think it is. PG. So PG is Postgres SQL. So yeah, that's the thing, is we're actually going to use Postgres SQL instead of SQL Server, but no worries because it's basically the same thing. It's just a different database format environment, and there's a reason why we're doing that. Because the cloud base that we're using doesn't have MySQL involved. It has Postgres, and it's kind of a limitation that we have, but for what we're trying to accomplish, that'll be fine for now. But if we were going to run this in our gel account, we could run MySQL. I think it would just be this. You could install, I think it's MySQL. Yeah, so we could have did one or the other, it didn't matter. But anyways, so this gets us kind of started with the things that we want to get started with. The other thing is starting with our file format. And this will change, this structure will change in due time because we're going to have some other things that we want to do. But first and foremost, I'm going to right click and choose new folder, and I'm going to call it source src, and then I'm going to right click on it and do a new folder underneath of it, and we're going to call it, in this case we will call it what kind of, well, you know, I'm going to keep my movies because it's going to be movie related again. So I'm going to say movies. So now we have a folder. Your folder structure needs to look similar to that. Well, actually it has to look exactly like that, but not movies. Okay. And then we need to put some stuff underneath it. We need to put some files that we're going to use underneath it. So I'll click on that and create a new file. And under that new file, I'll call it controller.js, as we mentioned that we were going to be doing. And then we're going to create a new file, and it's going to be called queries. I'll explain what all this is in a minute here. And then lastly, we're going to create another file. We're going to call it routes. All right, cool. We're also going to have a file outside of these guys. It's going to be at this level right here, and we're going to call it database db.js. So when we go down to this, we have this db.js. So what does all this mean? Well, that's a great question. I know that's what you're thinking. So this format that we have in place here, let's just close these out real quick. There we go. So this format that we have in place here, we have the source and movies. So in your case, put what the name of your API is going to be. We have a controller. This controller is going to be where all of our functions live at. It's going to be functions that, you know, talk to databases, talk to queries, talk to routes. That's what's going to happen there. So anything that we want to happen here, anything that we want to do, we're going to do it here. Okay. Queries, that's where we're going to write all of our SQL queries at. So how an API works, it has to query a database. And this is a safer way of doing it. You know, early coming up in the industry for myself, You know, they taught us that if you wanted to write queries, you wrote it right in the code. You know, that was before we knew cybersecurity was going to be a problem. Later on, we learned that, you know, that's a problem. That's a risk that you're taking. So we'll write all the code in here that's query related based on what we're doing. And then we have the routes, and that's kind of what we've talked about earlier. But these routes are going to be the main routes on the page. They're going to talk to these other pages. And once we get to it, it'll make more sense. And then lastly is database. So this is going to be our configuration. We're going to configure our environment to talk to. At first, when we do this, we're just going to set up Postgres locally, and we're just going to set it up to talk to it locally so that we can connect to the database locally. So that's all we're trying to do. Eventually, we'll get to a point where we'll be deploying this by using our continuous integration and development. So like right now, you have a setup where you know, you push in some code and Git automatically deploys it to Netlify, which updates your website. Well, we're going to take it another step further. We're going to add another agent to it, and what we'll be doing is the same thing with the database, and it's just going to be so much stuff happening at once. So that's why we have to take baby steps to make this all work. Be honest with you. So this will get you set up for now. So do something like this for your homework. The other thing is I want you to go out to PostgreSQL and go out to, and here's the site, Postgres download. If you have a Linux, Mac, Windows, whatever. If you're running BSD, that's interesting. That's hilarious. BSD is what we run on gel accounts. I want you to download what you should be running and install that as well, because you know you're going to need to use that locally. Eventually I'll show you how we have it deployed in the cloud and all that stuff, but for now that's for a later time to worry about, because there'll be another account that you have to set up for the cloud. That's free, no charge at all, promise. And that'll get us started. Let's see here, I think that's it for this video. This is just to kind of get us started with this environment, and the next video we'll start writing. Well, actually, you know, we can start writing a little bit of code to get things going. So I lied to you. Let's get something going a little bit. Let's see, what did they provide us for our starting file, index.js. All right, so we're going to call it something else. We're going to call it server.js. We're going to change it up a little bit. So you see how I did that, and then we're going to create a file, and we're going to call it server.js. This is going to be the main file that we need in order for this to work. It's going to be a lot of the same stuff we already did. So we'll do constant express equals require, and we'll say requires express for this to run, which is, you know, doable. And then we'll do a constant app equals express, and then we'll do a port. If you remember that, I'm going to move it over to 6002. And then we'll set up our first route for now. This will change. So get, and then we'll put a / this time. A little bit different from what we did before. Comma, and then we'll do a request and a response, and we'll do a callback feature. And then we'll do a response.send, and we'll just start off with hello world. You know, something simple for now. All right, and then we need to do app.listen port, and then open close brackets, callback feature console.log, and we'll say running port, running active port, and that's it. All right, so for our class, let's say how do we run this? So we can do gnomon server.js. Error message. Why? Did not save it. What are we missing here? Oh, because I didn't install gnomon. Alright, that might help. So npm install gnomon. So clear it. Alright, still can't find it. Module not found. What's it looking for? Oh, server.js. Did I do server.js? I did. Server.js is the main thing. Huh. I don't see anything here. I don't see why that's a problem. Control C. Clear it. Let's go with node server.js. Yeah, some really weird stuff. Did I have to have that inside there? I don't think so. Oh, I know the problem is. You see how I have my APIs? And I have API dev. I should be directly in my APIs. We shouldn't see this here. That's the problem. Alright, so this is how we fix it. Just create a new window. I don't believe I did that, but it does happen. So let's go open folder. And let's go to documents. That's because we create that new directory. We're going to have to move this here. Because it's at a different layer. It should be at that layer. That's not going to let me do it. Somebody cancel that out. Alright, so we're going to move it in here. Alright, it's not letting me move it. Cancel. Open folder. Alright, let's move it in here. Jesus, it will not let me move it. Huh, that's the problem. Huh. It won't even let me copy it. I've never seen anything like this. Alright, so let's do this. Give me a second here, guys. I need to find the document. It won't let me do it from that level. Alright, let me do it from that level. Alright. So let's do this. Open folder. Alright, double click on that. Let's open it now. Alright, let's see here. So that's that. Alright, so that should maybe fix it. We'll see if it fixes it. Alright, so let's do clear. And we'll do node server.js. Alright, so you see what happened there is I had that out of order. So don't do it the way I did it like that the first time. I messed that up, but we fixed it. It's running, so it's a little confused there. Anyways, to test it, we can just go to localhost 6002, and we called it. What do we call it? City. All right. We didn't. So we don't really have a route right now. So it's just 6002. We haven't built that, and we'll build that when we get into routes. So what we'll do is we'll build our routes here. We won't put them at that main page anymore like we did in the first video, in the first time. So this is the first video of several videos to get started on the API. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.